Almost before the dust from national championships at Lamplight settled, In Excess and I were off to Holland for a 3-month training stay with Egbert Kruk. I have never flown with horses, and I was amazed at the process. It was definitely a first-class experience for me, including free choice meals, a reclining seat, and access to walk back and check the horses. I have visited Egbert's stable before, so I felt at ease knowing what to expect. I was lucky to rent a renovated garage studio apartment, so I didn't have to spend 3 months in a hotel. In Excess and I settled into a routine quickly, and I was yet again reminded that barn life is universal. I so appreciate being surrounded by those who share similar values of horsemanship, and enjoyed getting to know the great group of both people and horses there. Once we were settled and ready to get to work, Egbert started at the beginning by watching my typical warm-up and training. From the first lesson, he encouraged me to write things down, often stopping mid-session to remind me of an important concept. Looking back at my notes, I see a clear common theme throughout my progress. Everything must work toward getting the horse more and more in front of the leg and tuned to all the rider's aids. With this mentality, riding through test movements is secondary to correct preparation and response, resulting in a more rideable horse the next day. Even though both Egbert and I knew improving the piaffe and passage was the end goal, the first weeks were spent working on riding basic transitions that were truly in front of the leg. This concept is important to me because In Excess is very forward and sensitive, which often leads me to believe he is more on the aids than he actually is. Egbert is adamant that training must be logical to the horse and concepts need to be solid and easy work before making the exercises more difficult. Initially, this process took time to deconstruct the basics, but it paid off in a big way when I was able to rebuild to a higher level of rideability and quality. Once we began thinking about test riding, my biggest revelation was how much organization I need. We broke down pieces of the Grand Prix and analyzed why I should prepare and approach each exercise. I often think more is better and a lot more fun, so I ride maximum power without focus on the preparation. Egbert had to remind me that In Excess isn't a schoolmaster, so I can't make careless mistakes and expect him to be confident. When test riding, perfect practice really does make perfect, and instead of stringing together movements senselessly, we often repeated a portion until I owned every stride. This gave me much more confidence and focus instead of feeling like I just got lucky and made it happen. As my training stay in Holland comes to an end, I want to share my appreciation to the people and organizations that made everything possible. This trip came at a perfect time, after In Excess and I had shown Inter 2 and developing Grand Prix, but still needed a big push to tie everything together. I also found it invaluable that I had enough time to commit to his process and establish a repertoire with Egbert, something impossible to get from a clinic or short-term training situation. We are very lucky grants and support exist that allow young professionals like me to think big and pursue educational opportunities that will have a huge impact on our whole career.